Hey there. I'm Dylan, and I'm just gonna talk about the Ender's Game boycotting, although it's a little late in that sense. Um, One of my main arguments against it is that whenever you boycott it, you're not just boycotting Orson Scott Card and his bigotry. You're boycotting everyone that put their livelihood and creative minds into making this movie. And not all of them are that person, or that kind of rude person. And another one of my main arguments is that I grew up with this book. I really did. I read it for the first time when I was like 6, I think, because my brother suggested it to me, and it was one of their favorite books, and they suggested it, and I read it, and I didn't quite understand it as well as I should have. So every year in my life, I've read it at least once, and I've read a lot of the other series. So something that I feel like should be understood about this book is that Ender and Orson Scott Card are separate. They're not the same person, though Ender came from the creative mind of Orson Scott Card. Ender is this character that's capable of such compassion and such great love. Like, for example, whenever he destroys the Formix, this is a civilization that Earth hates. They're known for destroying most of the population, and everyone has all these bad thoughts about them. But the thing is, Ender doesn't. In fact, when he is forced to destroy the Formix, he's just broken about it, it seems. And it's something that haunts him for many years until he finally gets a chance to help them. And though helping them would be probably considered like an act of treason in the time he grew up, he helps write books and do things that help the world understand that this is just a misunderstood species. It's not what everyone makes it out to be, which I think is like the exact opposite of what Orson Scott Card believes, which is what makes me further put them as such separate beings. And what else? I mean, if you read into the Speaker for the Dead series or anything beyond the original Ender's Game book, you'll learn more and more that Ender is this just ultra compassionate person that's more than capable of understanding anyone, regardless of gender or sexuality even. But it seems that everyone puts the Ender's Game book and it puts this series in the same place that Orson Scott Card is, which is this bigoty piece of crap person. Ender isn't that person. He has a story. He has this story of great overcoming, of great compassion, of I'm probably out of focus because I didn't autofocus before I did this, but he has a story of great compassion and like all of these great things that he does. And to put him on the same level as Orson Scott Card is to lower him, much lower than he should be, to be frank. Cause even like in the Speaker of the Dead series, you see this new species, or no, even this broken family that's having all sorts of issues. A father that beats his wife and all of these problems, and Ender still manages to understand the broken father and the broken family and the wife that's having a lot of trouble, and he understands and he feels for these people. And then he sees this new species that have been known for just killing humans. But then he looks at them and he understands and he helps people realize that in their society, what they were doing was a sign of respect, was a sign of like furthering your life. Because they didn't understand about humans that we don't live past our original life like they do. And though it may not make any sense to anyone who hasn't read Ender's Game or any of the rest of the series, all of these things happen and they just further prove that Ender is this great being full of compassion and full of love, and that he is by no means Orson Scott Card. That he is by no means someone who is capable of bigotry. And I think that's what really makes boycotting it wrong. And I mean, definitely not more so than the fact that you're harming people that aren't Orson Scott Card when you do it, but it still makes it wrong to the extent that Ender and Ender's story are different than Orson Scott Card and his bigotry. Ender's story is a story of hope, it's a story of compassion, and it's a story of love. Whereas Orson Scott Card's story is a story of someone who happens to have a very creative mind, but in the process of having a creative mind, he also has such strong and radical Christian beliefs that he feels the need to enforce on others. And that's what makes them different people. And that's what makes this movie worth seeing, but not worth believing in what Orson Scott Card believes. And that's my personal opinion on it, as someone who grew up on those books, someone who's in the process of reading the series all over again, and someone who still can't wait for the next book in the series. And I hope that somewhere in the Amazing Atheist videos I get a little mention or something. Maybe, maybe not. But thank you for watching this. Bye.